Hi everybody. I have been asked to show a little more slowly the ways you can use the vintage greeting card printables in your journals. So I actually had a spare signature that was left over from a journal that I had made. So I went ahead and put in some samples of how to use the vintage greeting cards. So I'll go through them a little bit slower than what I did in the previous video. This one, I've got my little notes in here. Yeah, this is one that has one of the little fussy cut borders on it. So what I did with this, and the signature was already made, but since the journals that I do pretty much have the blind binding, where you can't see the stitching on the signatures, I just went ahead and sewed a couple in. So this one is what I call a quarter stitch in. And this is where you open up the vintage greeting card, and just on the bottom half of it you stitch that into your signature. So then you have journaling area here, open it up, journaling area here, or glue down images, what have you, and journaling area here. So that gives you pretty much maximum use of the actual space. The next one, okay, and this is one that has one of the blank, white areas to cut out, and it actually says cut out white area. So I have cut out most of the white area on here. So I'll just quickly go ahead and cut out the rest in the two sections. And you'll be able to see why you want to cut those areas out. It's really, really cute and gives added dimension to your journals. Not a very neat cutting job, but it's what happens when you try to do things quickly. Okay, you've got another one in this area, and okay, so now you have the little window, and the cards were designed so that it would be like a little peek through area. So you've got open spot here, and then your image, basically getting a sneak peek of what's on the inside of the card by cutting out that little area. Okay, and this one, I went ahead and folded it like it was meant to be as the original card, and stitched it into the signature. So you've got the front with graphics. This is the file that has the journaling lines on it, and then the back of it. So I think I called that one the half stitch. Okay, and with the next one, I did the half stitch to get it in here, but before I stitched it in, you can use glue or double stick tape. I use double stick tape to secure the bottom edges of the card together. So that gives me a pocket here, and it gives me a pocket here. And this is one of the cards that I had mentioned before, where you don't fold it exactly in half. So the back is actually a little bit larger, and then some of the image shows through. And that has this is the journaling lines version, and the back is blank. Okay, this next one, okay, again, I secured the bottom edges, and I also used double stick tape on the back along this bottom edge and along the side edges of the back. So I have a tuck spot here, I have a pocket here, and I have a pocket here, and room for journaling. So these things are just so versatile, and there's so many things you can do with it. I absolutely love, love, love. This is one where I cut the card in half just to make it a little flip, and I used double-sided tape and put it on this edge and this edge, so I also have a tuck spot. Now you could put it on this edge also and have your journaling area and a pocket behind it instead of a tuck spot. All depends on what you want to do with it. And I did use the other half of the card. Okay, so this is a quarter of the card, and I used double-sided tape and made a tuck spot. And this piece was the remaining quarter. It's just basically aged paper, and I just folded it, and it's tucked in there. So, I mean, there's just some of the many ways that you can use these, and different ways to secure them in and get other uses out of them, as far as making pockets and what have you. You could do this stitch and do your double-sided tape just down, down across the bottom, and make your pockets if you want to. Just a lot of versatility with these. And then I also I created what I call a journal flip and fold, and I used a lot of the postcard images and some of my own design images and everything, for my digital papers and things like that. And these can be put into your signatures pretty much the same way, but these can be used in a variety of ways also. There are actually 70 different designs, and each item is printed on a page like this, which has an aged paper background, or you can print on white paper. And this one will be easier to show you. Each one actually has guidelines. Let's see if I can figure out how to hold this so you can see it. You can see some going across the bottom here. This is across the top. And there are some on the sides, and they are very light. So what you'll do is, let me find my ruler, you will cut off the top, and you will cut off the side edges, and from here you decide how you want to use it. You've got the guidelines to use for folding and or cutting. This is what you're left with, and I'm going to show you the examples. Okay, this is one, and I actually printed on parchment paper, and I'm going to tell you about the parchment paper at the end because I found an awesome place and awesome deal on it. Okay, so I followed the guidelines, and I folded it this way first, and then folded that over following the guideline, folded that over following the guideline. So you've got a little flip out, and how you decide to secure it into your journal is up to you. You can stick it in, you can stitch it in, you can glue it in. You can put a little tape on the ends here and have pockets for when you do your flip, and use this area for journaling. Use that area for journaling if you want to. But this is basically the, well, normal flip and fold. Okay, the other option, another example, is after it's printed, you can trim off this bottom section so that you have a flip without the pockets. So it's that. Again, stitch it in, glue it down, whatever you want to do. Another option is to trim off this third. So then you just have, it's just a single flip. And then secure those down if you want pockets. Stitch it down, glue it in, whatever you want to do. And taking it a step further, you can cut off that border that you would use for the pockets, just to have a very basic and pretty little flip. And another option is to start out as the original, folding up that edge, folding, and then what I did on this third portion, I'll call it, I trimmed it down a little bit, and I used double stick tape to secure just the edges, and there's a pocket inside the flip. And you can secure this down too if you want. You can keep it as a tuck spot or secure it down and have it as a pocket. So there's several uses for these. There are actually, as I mentioned, there are 70 designs for the flip and fold. All the same pattern as far as the guidelines, but lots of options and different ways to use them. There is also, in case you don't have aged paper, and you know, each item is 2 files. Again, the aged paper background or just the plain white. And if you want to use the aged paper, there's also a blank piece of the aged paper that matches, that you can purchase once and use as many times as you want for these. And there's also a companion envelope, which is, you know, it's basically a larger size coin envelope. You'll print it, cut it out, and it's pretty obvious where you'll fold it. And that's it after it's cut out. And I'm just going to put this together fairly quickly. I'm using 2 pieces of tape because there is a good amount of overlap on this. This bottom, you might be better off to do glue, but whatever works for you. And I actually used a small circle punch that I have. And yeah, normally I would wait until after it was assembled, but I just put it on there, slid it down a little bit, did the punch, so I have an area that makes it a little easier to grab my flip and fold, and it tucks right in there Then you can fold the flap down. Excuse me. And this is large enough that if you do your flip and fold on cardstock, which I did, this is on craft cardstock that I printed it, and it's definitely heavier, but the envelope is large enough that if you do that, it will hold the cardstock files also. Okay, so I hope that helps you, have the visual on how to use the vintage greeting card printables, as well as the journal flip and folds, which do have their own section in my shop, and the link is down below. But again, with these, sew them in, tape them in, and make yourself an extra pocket in the back if you want to. Basically, whatever you've done, whatever I've shown with the vintage greeting cards as far as getting them in your journals, you can do with the flip and folds also. Or glue down the envelope, or just tape down part of it where you have a tuck and the envelope portion. Lots of options for your journals. I hope you have fun with them. I hope this helped, giving you a visual and a little slower explanation of how to use them. Thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it, and I will hopefully see you soon. Till then, take care. Bye-bye. I just realized that I forgot to tell you about the parchment paper. I was trying to find like a light cream cardstock type thing, or something that looked like it had some age to it. And I know most of the parchment papers I've seen before, like in Michael's or what have you, they're kind of they're almost splotchy and a little dark in their coloring. But I came across this from envelopes.com. It's a 65-pound weight, really, really nice to work with. The printing is gorgeous on them. This is the parchment. That way you're, if you don't want white and you don't want to use all the ink by, all your ink or toner or whatever in your printer with the aged paper page, this is a really, really good option. And the site is called envelopes.com. And boy, they've got a boatload of envelopes and colors and sizes and everything, so I'm going to be going back looking at those some more. But I happened to find this, and for a pack of 50 sheets, it was actually on sale the day that I got it. It was $5 and change, but even not on sale, it's under $6. But when I put in that I wanted 5 packs, it gave me a bulk price, so I only paid $15 and some change rather than somewhere between $25 and $30 just for the paper. They are out of New York. Their standard shipping is $9, which was a little high, but they were in New York. I had my order the next day, which I was just thrilled to death with. So, I mean, I know paper's not inexpensive or cheap, and they do put in a couple pieces of chipboard on the back to keep it, nice and flat and sturdy. So I was really happy with the packaging. I was really happy with the delivery, how quick it got here, and the paper itself is just absolutely beautiful to work with. So I'll put the link to them down there, and I think that really is it this time. Okay, TTFN, see you soon, bye.